But this was not the only time law enforcement covered over crimes and did things exactly opposite of what you would expect them to do. In 2011, when I visited my dad, the Greedy Framer, I've only seen him about 3 times my entire life. And in 2011, my dad, because of his 5-foot-long beard, people think that he has mystical powers. They would go to him and try to get their prayers answered through him. And my dad, who's never even given his board exams, does not work as a licensed doctor like how he likes to claim, right now is not even working due to getting into arguments with the actual doctors he'd have to work with. And no, he's not a physician's assistant. He doesn't even work as something that requires a college degree. And he goes around lying and telling people that he is a licensed doctor, when in fact that's a complete total lie. In fact, law enforcement has an incident known as the infographics incident, because he caused an entire episode on the infographics channel to be made about him. He's such a psychopath. He went and argued at a hospital trying to scam them, just like how he did with the courts, telling them that he was a licensed doctor only to try to force them to give him a job as a doctor without ever giving his board exams to any country in the world. He was kicked out of the hospital, and law enforcement was so amazed by this incident that they created an entire episode on the infographics channel about a man who practiced as a doctor for years without ever being licensed as one. This is how my dad, the Greedy Framer, is like. Complete total liar and a scam artist. And outside of his house, he basically pretends to be this mystical man who has all these mystical powers. And yet, on February 11th, after midnight, when he was told that my brain savant was about to get freed, he first starts frantically calling me at 22 minutes past midnight, messaging me saying, "So nice to hear from you after so long," after we had nothing but arguments all day February 10th, arguing against each other all day long from morning till night. And then at 3:17 a.m., he sends me a picture of a porn star named Sunny Leone with his sister Fur's name on it. And then at 3:56 a.m., my dad, the Greedy Framer, sends me his ugly, weird-looking sister from Florida, someone resembling her. I have no clue what this disgusting man was thinking. He was told on February 11th, you cannot send a porn star's picture with your sister Fur's name on it. That would be open advertisement for incest. Do you think he would care when it comes to money? No. He never achieved anything in his life. He wants the money, easy way out. And he's going to try to get it any way possible. So on March 7th, 2026, he does the exact same thing after realizing that November 20th was caught as a complete and total false testimony. And early March 2026, all the statements he was making were caught being complete and total lies, with the government informant knowing that these were complete and total lies, since it was already confessed to. So now he went from extreme envy to extreme greed. March 7th at 10:41 a.m., March 7th at 11:06 a.m., March 7th at 2:07 p.m. He sent me that same porn star named Sunny Leone's picture with his sister Fur's name on it. February 11th, he was already told that this is an open advertisement for incest. Do you think he cared? No. March 10th, 2026, he sends me sexually explicit pictures of a woman resembling his big, fat, ugly old sister named Afreen, and every single day afterwards. And right now, on June 17th at 7:23 p.m., just yesterday, Hershey Hotel and Resorts, this disgusting woman, Afreen the greedy, disgusting-looking big, fat predator, cannot stop with her sexual perversions. I have no interest in this disgusting, ugly old woman or incest with any person at all. And this hotel and resorts ad for Hershey, I know for a fact was sent by Afreen just yesterday, June 17th at 7:23 p.m. These people have no shame whatsoever. Every time they find out that my brain savant could get freed, they go right over to extreme greed, and they do it shamelessly. Despite being told by everyone that sending porn stars pictures of hotel or resorts or anything of that sort of nature is an open advertisement for incest, they couldn't care less. They just want the money. There's a chance we might get our gambling thrill from this, and he'll give us illegal assurances of money. Yeah, right. So basically, yeah, the man, my dad, the greedy framer, with his mystical powers and his 5-foot long beard, was a complete and total liar. And he is advertising his sisters to me. Not only this, March 12th, 2026, asked me if I would fulfill his disgusting sexual perversions by sleeping with his ugly old wife. And if you only saw what she looked like, you would know that you cannot get paid enough to do this. So, my dad, the greedy framer, only one of the 3 times I've ever seen him my entire life. In 2011, in order to work on his mystical powers thing, he wanted more attention. So he was giving sermons from his house. I've only seen him about 3 times my entire life, giving sermons from his house on the mass murder of innocent human beings, the results of which we do not know. And this man who's been going around telling people he's a medical doctor and never even gave his board exams, was giving these sermons from his house to try to get people to commit mass murder in the name of jihad. And he was doing all of this, and we do not know the results of which. And we don't know how many people joined terror groups. We don't know how many people were mass murdered because of this. We do not know anything for the results of this, because law enforcement obviously handled it like how they always do. They went and they tipped him off instead of investigating it or sending someone in to check to see what was really going on, or if he was really willing to send people over to mass murder other human beings, or to try to check to see if they would tell him that one of his people actually started mass murdering, to see how he would respond. No, none of this. Law enforcement just went to him and said, look, man, we're running our sex schemes and money fraud, and you're being a nuisance. So why don't you just stop it till Hassan's gone, and then you can continue with this jihad stuff. Well, again, they did this in 2011. And my dad, the framer, the greedy framer, stopped so abruptly that I knew right away someone had tipped him off, or else no one changes overnight like that. So this is what the kind of person my dad, the greedy framer, is. This is what he was up to. And he is going to be given the talking point that while my mother was working at fast food restaurants and I was just a child, not even mentally mature enough yet in the world, someone like one of law enforcement's own BFFs, like Uncle Joey, might have said something bad around me. And I remember this is saying and not doing. And what my dad was doing in 2011 was giving sermons to people to commit mass murder. So basically, yeah. And what ended up happening was, law enforcement gave these talking points to my dad, the greedy framer, since law enforcement could not use these themselves. The reason was that law enforcement could not use these talking points themselves, since obviously they've been running sex schemes with Uncle Joey's in-laws since 2001. They've also been running money fraud, money which is being collected right now as we speak and wire transferred to law enforcement's own friends. Except for this, you also have, so you have this, and so law enforcement could not use these talking points themselves, so they would have to give it to people like my dad, the greedy framer.